Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, khuyamorakh, pakhair ragle, washmale, and all those other words that Shahzad says. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Well This Morning with Shahzad Hashmi today. And unfortunately, Shahzad cannot join us, but that's okay because I have learned quite some few words from him. So I just had my can of coffee in the morning, and I'm hoping you have grabbed your coffee along with your breakfast. And we are ready to have a very informative morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday, finally. We are heading into a weekend, and I absolutely love weekends. Everyone does, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, today in our first segment, we are going to discuss something very important. We have done quite a lot of shows on this one, but we keep reiterating, even the Prime Minister of Pakistan says that at this point in time, the biggest asset of Pakistan is that roughly 63% of the total population of Pakistan is youth, aging from 15 to probably 29 or 33 as well. But that is a huge amount. We're looking at a youth bulge over here. But are we using that youth bulge rightly to probably look at a better and a prosperous Pakistan? This is what we're going to discuss today with two amazing guests over here in the studio with me. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we've been joined by someone who's been on the show before, but not with me, right? So he is Muhammad Habibullah, who happens to be a motivational speaker and also Vice President, Pakistan Progressive Organization. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum salam, I'm good, how are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you for coming early in the morning. And next to Mr. Habibullah, we have someone who is probably new to our show, but we hope to have her again as well. Marwa Hamid Qureshi, who happens to be youth activist and also a freelance journalist. Wow. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine as well. So to start with, it's a question that I'm going to pose to both of you. Youth bulge, it's brilliant, 63% of a population that is young, yet that is energetic and whatnot. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Starting with you.
Well, I guess let's quote this way. Pakistan stands the number 5th country in the world for the largest youth network.
Youth population, yes.
Now, there are like more than 300 organizations that are working for the youth development just within the Twin Cities in
More
Pakistan.
than 300? Okay.
Yeah, within Twin Cities.
Okay.
The problem is, the question, I mean, the answer to your question is, you know, the main problem is they are working, but not in the right direction.
Anything.
They're not achieving, they're not reaching somewhere, they're reaching nowhere. Okay. Now, they need to understand the demands of 21st century. We are living in digital age, okay, and in living in digital age, I mean, you just click a button and the car is on your door, the food is on your door. Likewise, the knowledge should be in your brain right away. So there's a concept of speed learning.
Okay.
So I guess we need to focus on speed learning. And what is speed learning? Absorbing of knowledge and the right knowledge in the shortest span of time.
Okay, okay.
Now, if we talk about youth in Pakistan, they are, I mean, like, let's talk about youth organizations. They're working on to fight with poverty, to overcome the flaws of education system, to overcome the unemployment, and to overcome the all social evils. Okay. So, starting with youth, you know, poverty. How youth organizations are helping in order to overcome poverty? I mean, obviously, if somebody is hungry, if you provide him food, you're not making him independent.
Okay.
You're making him dependent.
Helping them just. Okay.
Exactly. So, you know, launching incubation centers where, you know, youngsters from universities or fresh graduates, they can come over and they practice what they have learned from universities within 6 months or 8 months span. And after practicing, right away they go to their jobs. And even from there, there are, like, you know, if we talk about freelancing, you know, it is one of the, you know, fantastic field while living in digital age for the youth. Okay. And there are phenomenal speakers in Pakistan and phenomenal, you know, youngsters in Pakistan who are actually freelancing, and they're millionaires also. They're earning a lot of money.
I do know quite a lot of them.
Exactly. Now the problem is there are like 53% population is youth.
Yes.
And merely 13% knows what is digital age and what is freelancing, how they can earn through freelancing.
Only 13% of them. That's a sad stats, right?
That's really sad. That's really sad. And that is causing depression also.
Absolutely. We'll come to each and every single point of them, but because before that I have to move to Marwa over here. Marwa, the youth bulge, a blessing or a curse? Your personal opinion of it.
Well, actually, it depends how we manage the youth bulge.
Okay.
Like, are we supporting them? Are we giving them those facilities to make youth bulge a youth boon? Or are we making them a youth ban? That's totally something on us.
Totally.
So we have to check our national policy. I would like to quote the Vision 2025. You must have heard about
Yes,
it.
yes, of course.
So the first point of Vision 2025 was the human resource development.
Right. Okay.
See, you take the example of US, you take the example of China. When they went for their economic reforms, they focused on the youth, the entrepreneurship. And specifically what I would like to say is, you know, this is a very commonly held misperception that our education system has failed to produce the efficient human resource. I disagree with that statement.
Okay, that's a new one though.
We have that human resource. The issue lies in the management of that human resource.
Okay.
You know, you have the lots of journalists, you have the lots of bureaucrates, you have the lots of field specialists, medical specialists, engineers, researchers who are going abroad. Why they are going abroad? Because we are not managing that youth at home. We are not giving them those opportunities which actually they need. So basically, we are responsible for our brain drain. You know, you can say like 2 to 3 million of our engineers and our doctors are serving abroad in UK, in West. What is the reason behind that? The reason behind that is we are not managing our youth in a proper way.
Right.
If we manage our youth in a proper way, that's definitely going to be a youth boom for us.
So you're just saying that it can be very beneficial if we treat it this
Yeah,
very
exactly.
right.
That's what I say. And I would like to quote Dr. Yunus. You must have heard about Dr. Yunus from Bangladesh. He's a Nobel laureate. And he got the Nobel Peace Prize for microfinancing. He invested in microfinancing scheme. He invested in a bank, and he used to give loans, small loans, like mini loans, to the entrepreneurs, to the people who need them. So that's how he promoted youth and entrepreneur empowerment approach in youth of Bangladesh.
Right. So since you've mentioned, you know, you have already started talking about entrepreneurship. There are quite a lot of youth who are interested in building their own businesses and working for themselves lately, but again, not enough resources or opportunities. But I was reading somewhere, if we're looking at the next 5 years, Pakistan needs to create 4.5 million jobs in order to facilitate the youth bulge that is, you know, graduating and learning degrees, professional degrees, whatnot. How are we going to do that in the next 5 years? I mean, to be very honest, I know a lot of people who graduated with me. First of all, quite some of them do not have probably decent jobs, and a lot of them do not have jobs at all. What are we looking at?
Well, you know, this is the biggest problem in our youth. And I would quote also, it's causing depression, and which is leading to suicide cases.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you for saying that.
So how we can avoid that? Youth need to understand the awareness of youth organizations.
Right.
I mean, where there are certain steps which government needs to take, they are not being taken. So there comes the private organizations.
Okay.
Okay. So you join group of people, you learn from them, and you know, you work with them. You work with them, you indulge with them.
Okay.
And apart from your, again, why there is unemployment, there are two reasons. One of them, obviously, there's no platform.
Right.
The second one is, if there is a platform, our you know, students, they are not you know, practically you know, prepared to perform in that field.
Right.
And nobody's going to accept you if you're not practically prepared. So youth organizations is one of the you know, I mean, look at globally.
Okay.
What is United Nations is doing?
Yeah.
They're gathering youth, they're providing them skills, and then they are leading them towards the jobs.
Right.
Okay. So my very first suggestion for the youth or for the youngsters, if you are fresh graduate, if you just, I mean, not after graduation, if you just start graduation, along with your graduation, join a youth organization.
Okay.
Try learning new experiences. Try learning the you know, advancements of 21st centuries, demands of 21st centuries, how you're going to survive after 5 years. Look back, I mean, before 5 years, we had jobs that we don't have today.
Right.
And we have jobs today we will not have after 5 years.
You know, you're absolutely true. And my co-anchor Shahzad, I'm pretty sure you've met him. He often mentions that while he was in university, everyone used to tell him, BBA karo, bahut scope hai. And then there were like millions of people doing BBAs, and now we have a lot of BBAs with no jobs. You know, so jobs do, you know, sort of get out of demand probably after 5 years or something.
So I will actually quote here.
Okay.
By producing those incubation centers, youth organizations, they are actually also providing some certain source of income to the youngsters who are getting the trainings under them. I mean, there is RIC now, Rural Incubation Centers, and now they're moving to, you know, backward areas like Northern Punjab and South Punjab, so that, you know, because those areas, they are unheard. And then,
But you know, I'm so sorry I have to say this. I don't even feel like I'm in the right place to say this. You mentioned North and South Punjab and how they're unheard. Actually, Punjab is what gets the most attention. There are a lot of rural areas which are actually unheard, like let's go to Gilgit-Baltistan, let's go to some parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, you know, Sindh as well.
Exactly.
So I don't want to, but that's the thing. We're only focusing on some probably parts, and a lot of parts are being missed out.
So here, one thing that I'm going to add, if you're not getting a job, it's leading you to depression.
Yes.
Now, how are you going to get out of this depression?
Yes, please help them out, because I know a lot of people need that.
Because it's really sad for me even to mention here, 4 days back, you know, I read a news about a medical student, he committed suicide.
Oh God.
And
Exactly. I just came across it as
because
well.
of not getting a job. Now, if you are getting
A medical
depressed,
student not getting a job.
exactly.
Wow.
If you're not getting a job, and if you are, it's leading you to depression, do one thing: start changing the people around you.
Okay.
Number 2, start eating. Start changing the food habits.
Okay.
There, you know, I was studying one article in which it was written tyrosine. It's one of the chemical which is being produced in food, you know, which are giving us proteins like bananas and almonds,
Okay.
avocados, and all that. So start eating those food, which will produce 3 chemicals in your brain.
Okay.
Dopamine, and it will, you know, produce norepinephrine,
Right.
and then the third one, it will be, it would be another chemical. I actually forgot the name.
Okay.
So these 3 chemicals, they are actually mood activators. They bring, you know, positivity in your brain. If you're for like 6 months or 8 months, you're not getting a job, just relax. There will be a time,
Right.
you know, you would find somebody. I mean, changing the people around you means you go with the people who are relevant to your field,
Right.
who are relevant to your passion, who are like-minded people.
And change is always
I
good,
would like
right?
to,
Exactly.
I would like to add something.
Yes, please go ahead.
You talked about the jobs and how we are supposed to create the job and what would be the way out. I would like to say one thing. The actual issue lies in, you know, the very fundamental level, at the very fundamental level. That is, we don't have the proper career counseling organization.
Absolutely.
That
Exactly.
matters a lot. You know, we just follow, you can say, a routine path. Okay, I've done FSC. I am supposed to join a science field. I am not
Right.
going
It's either
to...
engineering or medical. That is it.
Yeah,
To be
exactly.
honest.
And
happening.
I would like to quote an example from US explicitly. What they
Okay.
do, they basically have an nexus in US.
Okay.
It's like their government, their industry,
Okay.
and their academia. They all basically coordinate and they promote those subjects which actually they need for their national development and national progress. We lack at all those things.
Okay.
What we normally do, okay, you didn't get an admission in medical, go for some field like, you know, biochemistry or go for
Physiotherapy or for-
physiotherapy.
get it, right.
Okay, without even realizing, are we going to have such jobs? And what matters is, like, as a student, you must have gone through all these kind of phases, obviously. We don't have that career counseling organization to counsel the student that if you're going on this field, you would be having this sort of a job. If you're going, you know,
Absolutely.
we focus on giving degrees.
And Marwa, you know, one more thing about career counseling, it's also the mindset that we're tackling with.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people, including my younger siblings. So whenever I recommend that, you know, if you want to pick something you're not sure about, go for career counseling. Maybe you'll have better, you know, areas to explore. And my dad goes like, why do you need a career counselor when I'm here? Which is great. I mean, I love him for his support and everything. But then again, the mindset, we're not open to these ideas.
Because, you know, your father, my father, and probably his father, like, we have a generation gap.
Right.
By then, there were different demands. Right now, we have different demands.
Absolutely.
In like, you can say industry, manufacturing sector, in agriculture sector, we have different demands right now.
Right.
So just going for a degree and attaining a degree, that's not all we need. We need some skills as well.
Right,
So,
skill development. So rather than
just
wasting
having
probably
it-
4 years of your life in a professional degree that you're never going to use again, we could probably
Exactly.
use half of those years in skill development.
See, I would like to quote my example
Yes,
as
please.
well. I've done my MPhil in biochemistry, specifically cancer genetics from Qaid-e-Azam University,
that's
Islamabad.
great.
And my research is basically on leukemia.
Okay.
Exactly. So that was actually cancer genetics. But
Yes, yes.
unfortunately, we don't have that setup of stem cells or tissue culture over here.
Wow.
What am I going to do now? What am I
Right.
going to do? What
Either
am I going
move
to
out,
pursue?
that is the only option you
and,
have.
And my work was quite novel, but obviously I cannot pursue it over here.
Right.
If I want to pursue my field, the only option I'm left with is I have to move
Move
abroad.
abroad, absolutely.
So this is the reason. That is how a brain drain is being promoted by our educational institutes.
Okay, so we have established that there are management issues. So there's two things that we need to talk about from both of you. Expectation from what we have from our youth, but also investment. To get what we want, the expected outcomes from the youth, what are the areas that we should start investing in one by one? All of you?
I guess number one thing that we need to do is we need to change the tool that we are using in our education system.
Okay.
We are living in digital age. Let's say if somebody tells you, let's go, we are going to hear out a movie.
Okay.
Would you go? No. You would definitely watch a movie. You would
Right.
definitely see a
Right,
portrait.
absolutely. Visuals are better, of course.
Yeah. So internationally, education system is being launched, international baccalaureate system.
Okay.
Now the IB system says that in 21st century, your education system needs to be 80% activity based and 20% theory based. But we are opposite. 80% theory based and 20% practical based.
Right.
So that is one of the core, thing that we need to work on. We need to make our kids, make our youngsters, make our youth work practically rather than, being, book fat or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Number two, by changing the tool of education system, we need to understand the mindsets of, of our society. I mean, from our childhood, we are taught, Khudi of Allama Iqbal, and we are taught,
Absolutely.
14 points of Qaid-e-Azam.
Yeah.
But at the age of 16 or 17, our boy is following Bill Gates, our boy is following Mark Zuckerberg and all that. So we need to actually set their mindset. We need to stop giving them examples of the people who they are not going to, live their life around.
Okay. Okay.
So we need to change their mindset through giving examples of the people they are living around them.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And successful people.
Okay.
Number three, parenting is one of the
Core issues.
In Pakistan. If you tell your parents, I don't want to go for this degree, your parents will tell you, oh, our son is disobedient.
Absolutely. You hurt me.
That is really wrong. I mean, and then there comes the emotional blackmail.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we need to conduct some sessions for parenting. That parents need to have the tool, teachers need to have that tool, students need to have that tool, schools, universities, their management systems, they need to have that tool which actually can stand against the 21st century's demands.
Right. Okay.
So I
Very
guess
well
these
said.
3-4 things are really important,
Definitely,
which we
right.
are lacking.
Right. What about you, Marwa? Expectations and investments.
Well, to start with the very basic thing, what I think is we have all that policy document,
Okay.
but what we lack at is implementation. We have to implement all those formulated policies in a proper way. And one more thing I would like to add, there is a negatively held misperception about the progress of youth in Pakistan. We have to admit these things,
Right.
that we are a developing nation.
Of
We
course.
cannot compare ourselves with US, with China, with West, because they took years, they took centuries
But
to
we can
develop.
learn, of course.
Exactly. And we are basically in an evolutionary process.
Right.
Definitely we'll develop. We have to explicitly invest on the career counseling, as he has mentioned,
Yes.
parenting. Because parenting is very important.
Absolutely.
Because what I think is, we basically have the influences of our society, our parents, our peer and our teachers. So all these factors, they basically influence our personality in a good way or bad way.
Right.
That depends on the, you can say, the type of influence we are having. So parenting is very important. The implementation of already formulated policies are very important.
Okay.
We are supposed to promote the entrepreneur approach, microfinancing approach. These
Right.
are the basic things. If we really want our youth to work, we have to formulate all those policies to, you can say, to eradicate this concept of brain drain from our system.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Otherwise, obviously, our youth would like to go abroad to find some lucrative jobs and to
Right.
go for, their careers
Because
abroad.
naturally, everyone is looking for a better lifestyle for themselves, of course. So if they are getting better opportunities abroad, why wouldn't they move out? Right? So now let's talk about vocational training and actually developing professional skills that one needs. So we cannot ignore the fact that millions of students, let's say children, not very young, starting from primary, secondary school as well, but even college-going students, they're not receiving the right kind of education, first of all, quality education, what we call. And also millions of students are living in the rural areas, that segment of the society that have not seen the face of a school at all. So for those people, if we want something to get, something out of them for a prosperous Pakistan, we need to develop their skills in a way that they can be utilized without having a degree. How can we do that? Please, while you answer this, consider those segments of the society, like probably some downtrodden villages of Sindh or villages of Punjab where they're not even television.
Well, I see. To do this in a very particular way, I guess we need to take the help of youth organizations.
Right.
What we can do, we can make chunks.
Okay.
And like I said, there was a launch of Rural Incubation Center. Now,
yes.
the purpose of Rural Incubation Center is that to help all of those people who do not have access to technology, who do not have access even to cell phones or television.
Right.
Now, how we do that? We start with the schools and then colleges and then universities. What kind of skills do they need? Let's talk about the boy who goes right after college. Okay. The boy right after college, I guess he needs to understand the 4 basic skills. Communication skills,
yes,
one of the core skills that you need to have wherever you go, whatever your specialization is. Number 2 is freelancing.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's very manipulated concept of freelancing in Pakistan, that freelancing is only working on Fiverr or something like that.
Yeah.
Freelance is just like you don't have an office, but you're working for people. That is also freelance.
Right.
Okay. Number 3 is we talk about technology, there is a blockchain, there is agile, and then there is graphics designing, and then there is you call it basic IT.
Yeah, but
so
I understand, Habibullah, you know what, I totally do agree with all that you're saying. But I also happen to know a lot of youngsters, since you've mentioned blockchain and all, they have studied it, they are brilliant-minded, I am inspired by them. They have no way to work for, especially in Pakistan. So the type of vocational training or skill set I'm talking about is something that can be utilized. For example, I know a lot of people who are venturing into the food business, they're opening their restaurants and whatnot. We don't have chefs. Why is it not okay for guys or even girls to go out and learn how to cook, to be a good chef? I mean, there are world popular chefs in the US, in China, everywhere.
Exactly.
Why not in Pakistan?
See, one of the,
that
one
is
of
the
the,
skill set that I'm talking
you see, one of the
society, we have in our social system, we have all those stereotypes. We basically are a stereotypic society.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have to get away with all these stereotypes. Unless we break all these stereotypes, we're not going to, achieve anything.
Right.
And coming toward your point of vocational training,
yes,
I would like to include one thing. When my father was in school, so basically he started from a government school.
Okay.
So there was the concept of vocational training.
Okay.
He had that. He received that training in electrical, some work, basic work of electrical, obviously electrician. So in government sector, in government school, there is still a concept of vocational training. We most of the time we just go through it, like we lack at vocational training, and there are multiple projects of government which are focusing on the vocational trainings, and they are taking very nominal fee.
But I guess, let me just add here, vocational training programs are only being progressed in Punjab. I mean, just like you mentioned earlier, in KP, in GB, in Sindh, in Balochistan, what's happening over there? I mean, I get a lot of texts in my inbox, sir, you're conducting a session, please come to Balochistan, please come to Sindh. And
because
people are deprived over there. And you see, I was talking about incubation centers. We need to launch incubation centers where we can teach them, we can make them chefs, we can make them, I mean, if they are like widows, we can make them teach them stitching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that would be one way you would be giving them one tool to be independent, and you would be day by day, establishing a power of a wave of, independence.
Independence, absolutely.
Yeah. So vocational training, it's not happening unlike Punjab, in the other cities. So if it's not being, this step is not being taken by the government, youth organizations, they can move towards these areas which are neglected.
What if we go for a private-public partnership? That is a very emerging concept.
That is something we're hoping for, like literally every month. That I really hope it happens.
And I would like to mention one more thing, as we talked about the, like Sindh, KP and Balochistan, which basically lack at vocational training. So after the 18th Amendment, basically education as a subject, it's now come under the provincial list. So now that is the responsibility of a provincial government to promote all those vocational or the skill promoting technology or coursework in their curricula. So I would like to suggest, in fact, some private-public partnership between the government schools and the local working organizations for students, for the betterment of students. I would like to recommend public-private partnership, because that is a very emerging concept.
You know, nothing like this. I don't see anything like this being translated on the ground. I mean,
that's true, but we can hope, right? We can suggest, we can give out our ideas.
Even in Vision 2025.
A kind of conflict over here.
Okay.
I don't think so. Okay, suggestion is good. We have been giving suggestion for the last 70 years.
That's true.
So what we can do, this is the time we need to stand up. What is United Nations is doing? United Nations is not government. It's just an organization.
Absolutely.
Look at all the progressive countries in the world. The private organizations, they have taken steps because the governments, they have specific budget, they have specific things to do, and then there's the corruption, then there's a lot of things. So I guess my point is, instead of giving suggestions, we can just move on towards taking steps by our own selves.
Perfect, perfect. I do agree with that. Now we have to wrap up this segment, but towards the end, Marwa, I want you to very quickly, in one line probably, address the youth over there for reverse brain drain. You're convincing them to come back to Pakistan. Exactly. And for you, in a one-liner, you're convincing all the youth residing inside Pakistan to do something to make Pakistan progressive. One by one, please go ahead. This is your camera.
So what I would like to say is, if we really want to reverse the brain drain and we don't want our future generation to go or to hunt the same opportunities or face the issues which basically we are facing, we have to take part in the national development. We definitely, that's not going to be some easy task. Definitely we are going to face some hurdles in this walk as well, but obviously we have to promote the entrepreneur approach. We have to create our own opportunities. We have to, you can say, take part in the national development, because obviously we are the citizens of this nation, and this is a national debt over us as well.
Right, absolutely. What about you, Mr. Habibullah?
So my message for youth is, first of all, set a goal, lifetime goal. Number two, surround yourself with positive people, be positive. And number three, start networking with people, start networking with like-minded people. That's the only three, these are the only three ways where you would reach somewhere.
Thank you so much for saying that, and it was such a pleasure to have you over here, Marwa and Habibullah, as well, because these words coming from the youth itself, it was inspirational, of course. So ladies and gentlemen, when you come back from this short break that we're heading out to, we will be talking about something interesting, something very informative that I always say. So stay tuned, good morning, and I hope you like this segment. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Well This Morning with Shaza Hashmi. And now we have moved on to our second segment. And in this segment, we have been joined by a cardiologist who works in Rawalpindi over here. He's a pride of Pakistan because very recently, ladies and gentlemen, he has been given a gold medal for his services in preventive cardiology on the Universal Health Coverage Day. So I think it's time to introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we have been joined by Dr. Raja Mehdi Hassan. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Islam.
First of all, congratulations on this big achievement. I mean, and it was very recently on the 12th of December, right? Congratulations for the gold medal. And how do you feel about this? Because it is, I know, a medal for all of your life, the efforts that you've put in through your lifetime in cardiology, right? Especially preventive cardiology.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you very much. Rome is not built in a day.
Of course.
This gold medal, pure gold medal, is awarded to me by my selfless and dedicated services in the field of cardiology.
Right.
In order to create awareness among the people about how to protect themselves from heart diseases.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of people who suffer from heart attacks.
Absolutely.
And we have been working in this field since 2002.
Sir, we will come to that, but please, I want you to tell me where the picture's from. Is this from the ceremony of you receiving the award?
This ceremony was on 12th of December,
Okay.
2018,
Yeah, right.
at Islamabad Club,
Okay.
in which I was awarded with the pure gold medal of 24
Wow.
carat by the Parliamentary Secretary of Health, Dr. Nausheen,
Wow.
Dr.
Wow.
Nausheen Hamid, with one of the philanthropist, Raja Mujahid Afsar.
Wow.
They gave me this award.
You said 24 karat gold. I'm sorry, this is on a lighter note, but all my life I had heard that gold medal was not actually a gold.
It was a pure gold medal.
Wow.
It
So
was a
you're
pure-
going to use it? Probably. Or are you just going to frame it as an achievement?
I am just going to frame it.
Frame it as an
Frame it,
achievement. Sir, it's great that you have been given this award because of course you do deserve it. But I know a lot of people in Pakistan who are of course serving humanity as a doctor as well. How important do you think are these medals or any ceremonies like this to boost the morale of doctors? Because they do need appreciation, of course. They've been working days and nights without a break.
Thank you very much. Everybody needs appreciation.
Of course.
If government has set awards or prizes for the people who are working on different fields in health or education, their morale will be boosted up.
Right.
Because as you know that Allah has also given rewards and
Absolutely.
and also mentioned in Quran that everyone should be rewarded after death if
Yes,
they
of course.
work
works
very well in their lives.
Absolutely.
If government has set a trend to have rewards and some sort of prizes to the volunteers who works on different fields, then their morale will be boosted up.
Wow. Sir, you have worked a lot in preventive cardiology. I do understand cardiology, but what is preventive cardiology to begin with? And then we can move on to how we can, work in that field.
As you know that prevention is better than cure.
Yes, absolutely.
Because about 20 billion people dies of a heart attack from the heart diseases worldwide, and in Pakistan about 2 lakh people dies
Every year?
Annually.
Oh.
Every year from these heart diseases.
Okay.
50% of people dies during their first heart attack without getting any treatment.
Okay.
And 10 to 15% people are those who got the full medication. In spite of that, they don't survive. This the average age group which were recorded is 40 to 50 years of age.
Okay.
And most of the people we see in 20s or 30s, they have heart attacks. This is because of their lifestyle.
Right.
Lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle, and dietary habits, high blood pressure, cholesterol.
Let's talk about the risk factors that might, lead you towards a cardiac arrest or any sort of cardiac diseases.
Exactly. There are 2 types of risk factors.
Right.
One are the modifiable risk factors, which we can control by yourself, and the others are the non-modifiable, in which the heredity, the family disease, age, or the modifiable risk factors in which there is lifestyle, dietary habits, the high cholesterol diet, high blood pressure, sugar, obesity, and stress and anxiety, and one of the most important is smoking. Most of the people dies because of
Heart
the
diseases.
uncontrolled these risk factors.
Okay, so you think smoking also causes heart disease? Because to be honest, maybe I'm not obviously educated enough, but all that I know is leads to lung cancer or probably pulmonary diseases, but cardiac diseases as well.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people know that.
Most of the people of who suffer from a heart attack, if alone there is a smoker, smoking, that can lead to the cardiac arrest or to the heart attack.
And sir, just a while ago you mentioned that about 50% of the people that do get, cardiac arrests, they lose their lives in the first cardiac arrest. Why? There's not a trend of Pakistanis going for a regular checkup. You always have to wait for something bad to happen to you. That is the only time you will go to a doctor and probably ask him for a checkup. How important is it to visit a doctor on a regular basis?
After 30 years of age, everyone should go for a complete checkup for screening purpose or in order to prevent his or herself from the heart diseases. Everyone should know about their blood pressure, about their sugar levels, about their cholesterol levels, about their BMI levels, about the obesity, whether he or she is in normal healthy size or whether he is obese or overweight. Every 6 monthly, if someone has problem, then he should go for complete checkup after 6 months. If the patient if the young ones or any old age people, they should go for every yearly checkup is mandatory.
Okay, so at least after every 6 months, every normal person even should visit a doctor in terms to check out if there's something wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, so since we are still talking about cardiac diseases, I want you to highlight, is there any difference for them occurring in males and females differently in terms of the risk factors that you've already mentioned?
As far as the male are more prone to have cardiac diseases.
Okay. Why so?
Because the female protect themselves from some of the hormonal changes in their bodies, but after menopause, the risk is equal for both. But if the woman suffers from one of the metabolic syndromes like high blood pressure or sugar or obesity, then there are equal chances of ischemic heart disease or heart attack.
Oh, okay. So, if you find out that there is something wrong with you, probably something is not going normally with you. So, what is the first aid that you can give yourself before going to a doctor? Because there are times, of course, that you do need a first aid in case of any emergency. What is that some things that everyone should know for themselves?
This is a very good question. Everyone should know how to protect himself or their loved ones during the heart attack. First of all, they take the Disprene tablet, 300 milligram stat, chew it, and place the tablet Angicid under the tongue. And one of the important thing is the Deponent patch. It is the just like Sunnyplast, just pasted on the left side of the chest, and through skin the drug is absorbed and the patient become pain-free. Then you have to go to the nearest hospital.
Okay, so these are the things that one should have in terms of, if you do have a heart patient in your house, or if you do expect something like this to happen to you, these are the 3 things that you should have in your first aid box. Can you repeat these 3 things, please, for all the viewers?
First is the tablet Disprene, 300 milligram. The second is the tablet Angicid, under the tongue you should place it. The third is the Deponent patch, 5 milligram or 10 milligram, then you have to place it on the left side of the chest.
Okay, perfect. So sir, there's one thing that I read, I'm not sure if this is true, you can correct me of course. For a diabetic patient, aspirin is a tablet that they use a lot probably. So if you keep using aspirin correctly, then you have less chances of developing a cardiac failure probably. Is that true?
If there are risk factors, 1 or 2, then it is useful. The Disprene is useful. Otherwise, if the risk factors are not present, then there is no use of this Disprene. In diabetic patient, the diabetes is also known as the mother of diseases, and it is a silent killer. And most of the patients have cardiac complications, they have neuropathies, they have silent MI without any symptoms. So one should have very careful about when someone is diabetic and to control their diabetes. and the fasting sugar level should be less than 100, and their the 3 monthly test HbA1c should be less than 7, and you have to take the normal diet, don't take sugar, and the more sweet fruits like mangoes or
for diabetic patients.
For diabetic.
Okay. Now, sir, all of the discussion that we've had is sort of general, but coming to Pakistan particularly, because you get to deal with patients on a regular basis, on daily basis, of course. So what is the most common heart disease or heart-related disease that people come to you with in terms of Pakistan?
The most common diseases now here occurs in Pakistan is the ischemic heart disease, the diseases of the arteries. With the passage of time, due to our lifestyle and other risk factors which I have already mentioned about the hypertension, smoking, there is the deposition of fats or cholesterol in the lumen, in the walls of the arteries. The arteries become narrow, and the patient complained of angina, chest pain during exertion. This is angina, and when these arteries become blocked or stenosed, then there is heart attack. In which we have to have proper medication from the hospital, injection streptokinase or dispirine and clopidogrel and other medicines should be given, and in future we have planned for further angiography or further angioplasties or bypass if needed.
Okay, perfect. So, sir, towards the end, since you are working in the field of preventive cardiology, I want you to give out a message to all the Pakistanis watching right now. How you mentioned that they can improve, you know, their heart conditions by having a perfect lifestyle. First of all, tell them how they can have a better and improved lifestyle and how they can prevent all these cardiac diseases. It's in their hand, of course, right? So, this is your camera. Please go ahead, leave a message for them.
The most important thing is to walk daily for 40 minutes. And take the diet, healthy diet. Take healthy diet. Don't smoke and the other tobacco things like shishas, cigarettes, naswar. These all are dangerous. And 40 minutes of walk daily is mandatory. And you have to control your sugar levels, cholesterol levels, BMI levels within normal limits. I have already mentioned that we have worked on preventive cardiology with the help of Voice organization. A Voice organization, we have started our work since 2002, and this is non-government organization. And we are planning to start here, but we have already started our work in Islamabad and its suburbs in order to aware the people about the heart diseases by arranging different seminars, heart camps, annual heart walks, and the most important thing is we are working on the basic life support and the cardiac arrest, how the people save their loved ones by doing the proper CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. With the help of 2 hands, everyone should know about this, and we are working on this, and we are arranging different workshops and train the doctors, paramedical staff. Even a layman can have this course, and they should contact us so that we can.
Sir, please let them know how they can contact you. So, because anyone can register for that course, right?
Yes, exactly. We are on Facebook, Voice @voice.ngo. Or our website is www.voice.org. And my cell number is 0321533323. They can contact me, or I am in Benazir Bhutto Hospital as a consultant cardiologist. They can contact me for this CPR course and BLS course.
Wow, that's perfect. Thank you so much for being here, sir. You are indeed a pride for Pakistan, and your services are, of course, unparalleled. And we learned a lot from you early in the morning, so thank you for being here. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you did watch this segment, by now you know that how important it is to change your lifestyle. Please start walking in the morning or in the evening probably. Do something healthy. Don't just be a couch potato and watch seasons on your Netflix all the time while having your snacks. You have to do something healthy in order to take care of your heart, because you need that to lead a very healthy life. So if there's anything you need to add to our conversation, write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of World This Morning. On Twitter, World This Morning without a G. On Dailymotion and YouTube, World This Morning. And the repeat is going to be at 11 p.m. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.